Marvin Bowser, photographer, here to launch his BlackHair project, which is on view outside on K Street and in Prager's Alley, presented as one in an ongoing series of photographic projects on the street, organized by Mount Vernon Triangle. And I'm actually going to hand it over to Kenyattah Robinson to give a little bit of an introduction to the project. And then Marvin will talk about the work. Thanks so much for being here today.
Hey, thank you, Mary. And thank you to George and yourself for allowing us to have this conversation in your space. And so we really appreciate the ongoing partnership. So thank you very much. And welcome all of you to Mount Vernon Triangle. If you have not been to Mount Vernon Triangle before, welcome. If you're a regular, thanks for coming back. This project is one of a number of projects investments that we've made through the Office of Planning and the Streets for People grant program. That was designed to encourage more people to come back to downtown after the pandemic by doing infrastructure in our streets, alleys, sidewalks, and our parks. And this investment was, in fact, the very last investment that we've made as part of that project. So we are very glad and proud and fortunate to have had that partnership with the Office of Planning to help do these projects over the last couple of years. And we're going to continue to do more, just not with public funding, but with that funding now as part of that. I will say that I met Marvin about a year and a half ago. He reminds me at a book signing. And this is our fourth photo exhibit that we have now in our public space. And every time we do one photo exhibit, I'm always thinking, what's going to be the next photo exhibit that we're going to do? And so we had just installed a photo exhibit. And I met Marvin and I said, oh, this sounds perfect for the next series of photos. Bring it back to the office, talking to my colleagues, Grace and Caitlin, about this project that I wanted to launch. And Grace said, this sounds like a perfect project for Black History Month. And I said, there we go. And with that, the spark was ignited. And having this conversation about this topic during this month, as part of our annual celebration of Black history on a topic that is so interesting, was something that we just couldn't pass up on the opportunity. That we're thankful to Marvin for saying yes to doing this work, because his work was not initially intended for the public space, the public realm. But we were able to adapt it in such a way that it can be enjoyed by everyone walking by through the neighborhood. And hopefully people look down and, their curiosity is sparked. They want to learn more. They want to go deeper. Or it could just be a fleeting moment, right? And that's what art is designed to do, to create those moments or to even create a conversation. So with that, I'd like to pass it over to Marvin to have this conversation with you about his work, BlackHair. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary and Kenyattah, thanks so much. Y'all are being entirely too quiet. Entirely too quiet. I was like, no, enjoy. Or our artists to engage, provoke, and inspire. So do all the things. Oh, gosh, I love opportunities like this to talk about art, talk about myself too, so I just say it. But no, it's been a journey. And so I'm Marvin Bowser. I'm from Washington, D.C. For years, for most of my professional career, I did things with the military, the intelligence community, defense contracting, technical, schedule-driven stuff. Stopped doing that about 7 years ago, and I told people that change is like getting my soul back. I can do art. So it's been a blessing to. I also told people I've been fortunate because I bring everything I've ever done with me on this journey. So what you see expressed is a part of everything else I've ever done. And if you ever worked one of my projects, that I still like a schedule. I like a schedule, so I get stuff done. I like being prompt, which is very, I won't say anti-artistic, but kind of. Yeah. BlackHair. So BlackHair is a self-commissioned work, which means that I paid for it, so I got to do what I wanted to do. So I knew I wanted to do something positive that celebrated, uplifted Black people and our culture. That's a big umbrella, so it's too broad. So I knew I had to narrow it down, tried a few things, and I sat in contemplation and tried a few things. When I landed on BlackHair, I literally had a visceral response. So I was like, so that's it. Like, that means something. Like, it resonates, right? So I, before jumping into the deep into the pool on that, though, I did some research to see who else is working in the space. So I went to my favorite research tool, Instagram, and found that there are thousands and thousands of people doing amazing work in the space. So that said to me, then I need to bring it, right? I need to bring my mark. So that was goal one, bring it. Goal two was to work in a way I hadn't done before. So I already mentioned I was doing things that were very prescribed, very schedule driven. So with this project, it's like, well, what if I just go out and see what happens? I'll start working, start interacting. I'll see opportunities. I'll see, it's just going to happen. I'm going to let it happen. And I was also going to do things very publicly. So a lot of social media along the way. And all the social media interactions, so I learned that there's a lot of interest in the topic. So it motivated me to continue. The first big thing I did with the project was an open model call that I shot in the Great Hall at Union Station. And so again, very public thing, open doors, anybody could come, everybody was welcome. And a lot of people came, and I had a friend of mine interview people before I shot them. And the opening question for the interview was, what is your BlackHair story, right? And people just showed up in their authenticity. It was just very beautiful. And that loosened things up. So when I started, working with them, they were ready. And we got some beautiful images from that. This is actually one of them from Union Station. And I'll talk more about that later. But I got something I could use from everybody. All the images didn't make it into the final show, but I got something beautiful from everybody who just showed up. From that, open process, a hair artist reached out to me and said, "Oh, Marvin, I've always wanted to do something like this. A lot of the things I do are temporary. She works on the show, she does amazing work, and then after the show's done, the hair's done. So she says she wanted to see some of her work on the wall in a frame. So it's like, oh, I could help you with that. So she was Melanie Williams, hair artist, the makeup artist I work with, and these are for the Afro Futuristic looks I'll get to in a minute. The makeup artist was a Trayvon Green, who I met a year before from another show, and Melanie introduced me to Grace Obora Afari, who's a contemporary African jewelry designer, and that's how we got to the Afro-futuristic looks, which was my second big photo shoot. So I mentioned we started in, this happened in 2023. The first shoot that the Union Station shoot was in April. So from April to August, we worked on creating this, the color palette, the direction for the hairstyles, decided to use models instead of like everybody else for the Afro-futuristic looks. We designed the wardrobe, and we did another big shoot, which was we had 7 models, worked all day, 2 different studios, had one studio set up for hair, makeup, wardrobe, so it kind of looked like getting ready for a fashion show back there. Grace came in at the end with the jewelry and really putting the crowning touches on them, and I was in the other studio doing the principal photography. So I had 2 big shoots, several smaller shoots with people doing things that people do, just living their full lives. And for those 6 months, I only did content creation. I did not know, in fact, what was going to be in the final show. I wanted to focus on capturing the beauty of our lives. And people would ask, Marvin, I know you're working on this. I see your post. Like, what does the show look like? I can't wait. I'm like, I can't wait either. I don't know. And again, it was so crazy for me to operate that way for that long without like nailing things down, because that's how my head is wired. But it was also very, very liberating, right? So, and this piece called Unbreakable is my favorite piece from the show. I'll tell you why in a minute, but I'm going to ask you first. Who is she? I want answers. Who is she? What did she just do? Where is she going? Come on.
I already know the answer.
There's no one answer, so how do you know the answer? Come on. Come on.
The everyday woman who's just free, walking the streets of her hair and just right.
Okay, the everyday woman walking the streets, hair just free.
Did she just come from like a meeting or something? I mean, got to see her blazer and just, she kind of did that I didn't.
Just coming from a meeting?
Like she was running the meeting.
Like she was running. So she's in charge. All right, okay. Who else? Those are both good? And what's your name?
Anissa.
Anissa. I can see through the dark glasses you have something to say. So yeah, no. Okay.
I like the idea of the possibility. So,
Okay. Unbounded possibilities.
They are.
They are, okay. I like that too. Okay, so let me tell you why this is my favorite show, image in the show. It's because when people are asking me what the show looked like, in the back of my mind, I don't know if I ever voiced this, but it's not going to be a picture of a lot of hair, because it's like, how is that going to work, you know? And then I took about 3,000 images, and the show was 41 images, right? So I had a lot of stuff to work with, which was the goal. That's why I did the 6 months. So I get to this image, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I was literally just trying things out with this model. And I mentioned this before, I took this in Union Station. She did not come out for the model call. She lives in New Jersey. She took the train to DC to meet some friends. She's walking across Union Station, and I saw her looking at what we were doing. I had signs up too. And I saw her looking, so I waved, and she waved back. And I waved her over, and she came over. She goes, "BlackHair, how can I get involved?" So I was like, "Here, sign this release." And yeah. And, and I just tried some things with the camera. I tried a lot of things. I asked her to turn around, took the image, and I just, it was just like things I was trying. But when I saw it, I'm like, wow. It's like the antithesis of what I thought the show would be. Because I really was like, this cannot be a bunch of hair. But with this one, as we just revealed, it's like, she's a boss. She's just everybody. She's free, And when I ask people about this image, I get amazing answers like that every time. So it does everything a piece of art should do, and there's no face, right? There's no face. So that's cool. So that's my favorite piece. And it's called Unbreakable. And I learned later from Tanya, the model, that but she didn't know that, she learned about, after the shoot, I lost contact with her. So from a Instagram post, a friend of hers saw the image, recognized her, reached out to her, and that friend put us back in touch. So when she learned about the title, she was almost in tears. She goes, "Oh, I didn't know her personal story." But it was telling. The title was telling about her personal story. And I work hard on my titles, right? For me, titles really mean something. And it's not that my title is the only thing someone can take away from the piece, but it's it talks to what I take from it, and I think it's a point of entry to understanding what the piece is about. But you take from it what it means to you, right? So, Unbreakable. I think I'm going to pause there. Any questions?